to the specific topic of exemptions under this act. And we are thankful that ICRISAT's legal counsel, Dr. Tripathi, will be highlighting this topic. Dr. Tripathi is the legal counsel at ICRISAT Hyderabad, India, and he is an international lawyer, registered Indian attorney, and registered technology transfer professional as well, which is accredited by ATTP. And he is actively involved in establishment and sustainable operations of IPFC and WIPO's DISC Center at ICRISAT. And also he is a global legal head, and he is involved in overall management of legal and regulatory issues, which is related to operations and research of ICRISAT in legislative advocacy and statutory compliances. Now I would like to pass floor to Dr. Tripathi for highlighting research and other exemptions under the Biodiversity Act in India. Over to you, Dr. Tripathi, please.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you, Dr. Neeti. I think Dr. Neeti has already set the background, the importance of the biodiversity laws. And these are the standards over the globe. So we should not say that this is only applicable in India or only few countries. Because of the CBD, now it has become a global presence. From the research point of view, because ICRISAT and other research partners, the research is very important aspect for all of us and the concern. So what are the benefits given to the researchers, to research organizations and other things that I am going to highlight? Definitely we will be happy to answer any queries during the question and answer session. And we have a panel discussion also, where we will be sharing our experiences and our suggestions also. So let me share my screen and then Ankita, can you allow me?
I've already allowed to you. So will you please again?
No, it's showing host disabled the participant screen sharing.
Just give me a second, please.
Anyway, it's important to note that biodiversity laws, we have to honor and respect the laws. And that is the reason we see nowadays, if you are filing a patent application and using the biological resources, if you have mentioned that, you may get a notice or correspondence from the patent office that you seek the permission from the Biodiversity Authority. And if you are going for a transfer, or if you are transferring your research outcome or biological material outside India or with non-Indian entities, then again you may get a notice or letter from the Biodiversity Authority or any other government authority that have you taken a permission from the NBE or not. If not, then there's a specific format and application you should apply for and seek the permissions. So whether you like or you don't like, law is in place. As Dr. Neeti has already explained, the full machinery, administrative framework, guidelines, process procedure, everything is in place. So it's always advised and suggested that follow the rules and regulation. Seek the prior permission if you intend to use or access any material, and where you think that it is not coming under the exemption domain or something, then you approach to the authority. And if you have any confusion, if you have any doubt also, it is always advised that you seek the assistance of any attorney, or you can directly write to the Biodiversity Authority also. They will also, I think, provide the clarifications. Can you see the screen? So as Dr. Neeti has already explained, there are 2-3 international obligations, like in the terms of the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, which is the foundation for establishment of the biodiversity laws. But from the agriculture point of view, because we also do some agriculture related activities, Another FAO treaty on international treaty on plant genetic resources, that is also important because this treaty is given some importance in the Indian biodiversity laws, and there is some connection between the access and exemptions also. Another aspect is the Indian Biological Diversity Act, which is based on the CBD, but there are certain provisions which is way beyond the CBD also. So certain provisions are stringent, and the applicability of the biodiversity laws is, if you want to see that what are our laws applicable to you, then first you have to see the Biodiversity Act, and if there is an inconsistency or any clarification if you need, then you have to go back to the CBD. So for entities operating in India or entities or person having intention to access Indian biological resources, they have to refer the Indian Biological Diversity Act. Along with that, there is a biodiversity rules, various rules are there, and important rule is ABS, Access and Benefits Sharing Rule, that is based on the Nagoya Protocol. So from a researcher point of view, from the entities, those who are involved in technology transfer or any related activities, research or transfer activities, they have to keep all these things in mind and then decide that what action you have to plan. Section 3 and 4 is very, very important when we think of about the access regulations. So section 3 talks about that if you want access, you have to seek a prior approval. Dr. Neeti has already explained that. Section 4 talks about that if you want to transfer to any non-citizen, non-resident and body corporate which is not registered in India, or any management having a non-Indian participation or non-Indian shareholding. So 3 and 4 is very, very crucial and very, very important when you are dealing with the biodiversity laws. But if you think that what are the benefits or exemption given to for research purposes or for other purposes, then we again certain provisions are given in the law itself, like section 5. Section 5 says that section 3 and 4 will not be applicable if you are going for a government approved research projects. So government approved just research project like projects approved by DST, DBT or Ministry of Environment or any other ministry. And there is a policy and guidelines given for execution of the project. So in those cases, you have to apply section 5, and then you can say for research purposes, you have government approved projects, you have certain liberty. Another important area for agriculture perspective is that, as I mentioned, that International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources is also coming into picture, and that's why the varieties or crops notified under Annexure 1 of the treaty, they are also exempted from the section 3 and 4 of the Biodiversity Act. And for that purpose, Ministry of Agriculture, they have set a standard guidelines and SOPs there, and procedure is there. So if you want to take advantage and benefit of this notification and crops covered under the Annexure 1 of the treaty, then you have to approach to the Ministry of Agriculture, and they just set procedure, follow that. And then in those cases, you will not be required to go to the or approach to the Biodiversity Authority and seek any approval for that. We have seen that in certain cases where there is some ambiguity or some concerns are there, the Ministry of Agriculture is supporting and they are approaching to the NBA or other respective departments seeking the clarification. So for taking exemption or advantage of exemption of Annex 1 crops, you have to approach to the Ministry of Agriculture and seek their guidance. Another area of exemption, you can say, not specific to research exemption, but other exemptions, you can say, under clause 17 of the guidelines of the access of biological resources. So that guideline is also available on the portal. You can go and check. Under clause 17, certain items have been mentioned that where approval from the NBA and SBB is not required, these are exempted. So if you are doing an Indian citizen or entities accessing for the purpose of research or bioutilization and research in India, so we have to keep in mind this is the only research exemption. nothing beyond that. Again, the collaborative research already we have, I have highlighted section 5 of the BD Act, where if your project is approved by the department, state government or central government or the ministry, then you can take advantage of that and there is no need for seeking approvals. Dr. Neeti has already highlighted that conventional breeding using the agriculture, horticulture, poultry and dairy, all these things if you are doing, then again, you can come under the category of exempted activities. And for that also you are not required to approach. But there might be some ambiguity that what is the meaning of conventional breeding and what is not. So if you have any doubt or any ambiguous queries there and you are not sure, better seek the assistance of any attorney or seek the clarification from the NBA. And for being a research organization, for researchers, always we believe that we should be allowed for a publication, knowledge dissemination, because this is the core activity of any research organization or researchers. So for that also, the permission is not required if you are going and following the government norms and regulation for research. Two more areas that is already given in the Act itself, value-added products and the normally traded commodities. So value-added products are exempted from the permissions. They are not classified as biological resources. And normally traded commodities, there is a list of commodities and the list government is revising or reviewing time to time. So there's a list of the normally traded commodities where you can go and check what are the commodities available in the market. And for those, if you are accessing those commodities, permission will not be required. But definitely, having said that, all these things, still a lot of clarification and lot of guidelines, lot of, I would say, guidance is required in these areas.